Welcome, friends, and today I'm going to tell you the story of a girl who overcomes adversity and bullying to find love, purpose, and a happy destiny. Enjoy the story.
Nina Peterson stared out the window of her senior homeroom class at George Washington High School, watching happy couples walk hand in hand through the sunny courtyard. Laughter and excited chatter about prom dresses, college plans, and spring break trips filled the air. But Nina felt disconnected from it all, trapped in a bubble of poverty and secondhand sweaters. The last time she had a new outfit was the first day of first grade, back when everything was still intact before her mother's accident, before her father lost his job, and before their lives fell apart. Now all she could do was keep her worn clothes clean and ignore the constant giggles and whispers behind her back, especially from Brittany Thompson, the queen bee of the senior class. Brittany sauntered up to Nina's desk with a smirk. "Hey Nina," she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "I'm collecting donations for the homeless shelter. Want to toss in that old rag you're wearing?" The room erupted in laughter and Nina's face burned. She grabbed her backpack and bolted for the door, blinking back tears. Mrs. Johnson, her teacher, called after her, but Nina was already sprinting down the hallway, pushing through the heavy doors into the sunlight. She walked the 10 blocks to the small apartment she shared with her father, hands shaking. When she unlocked the door, the familiar stench of stale beer and cigarettes greeted her. Her father was passed out on the couch, surrounded by empty bottles. This was how she found him most days after school, ever since her mother had passed away and he had lost his accounting job. Nina quickly got to work cleaning up the mess, something she did daily. She collected the bottles, wiped down the surfaces, and opened a window to let in some fresh air. "Daddy, you can't keep living like this," she whispered to herself. A groan came from the couch. Her father stirred, one bleary eye opening. "Nina, is that you? Why are you home so early?" "It's 3 o'clock, Dad," she said softly, sitting on the arm of the sofa. "I left school. The kids were making fun of me again because of how I dress." Her father looked ashamed. "I'm sorry, sweetheart. You deserve so much better than this." "Stop, Dad," Nina said, standing up abruptly. "I can't talk about this right now." She grabbed her jacket and hurried out of the apartment, trying to ignore his calls for her to come back. Tears blurred her vision as she stumbled down the sidewalk, finally collapsing on a bench outside their building. She sat there, head in her hands, when a gentle voice broke through her thoughts. "Nina, honey, what's wrong?" Nina looked up to see Mrs. Thompson, who worked at the nearby health clinic. The story spilled out. How she was bullied at school, her father's drinking, how much she missed her mom. Mrs. Thompson listened, laying a comforting hand on Nina's shoulder. "Have you talked to your principal about the bullying?" she asked gently when Nina finished. Nina laughed bitterly. "Principal Adams? He'd probably congratulate Brittany for being so creative with her insults. No, I'm not going back there." Mrs. Thompson thought for a moment. "I understand. You know, we could use some help at the clinic, especially for evening shifts. If you're interested, I could offer you a part-time job." Nina's eyes widened. A job meant money. Money for new clothes and, more importantly, a way out of school. "That would be amazing," she said. Mrs. Thompson smiled. "Come by tomorrow and we'll get you set up, but promise me you'll think about staying in school. You're so bright, Nina." Nina looked away. "I'll think about it," she said, though she knew deep down that she wouldn't. She threw herself into her new job at the clinic, grateful for the distraction. But her resolve faltered when posters for the prom started appearing around town. A part of her still longed to go, to wear a beautiful dress and feel normal, if only for one night. When Nina mentioned the prom to Mrs. Thompson, her boss immediately offered to adjust her hours so she could attend. Encouraged by her support, Nina signed up for the dance despite the mocking whispers from Brittany and her friends. She saved every dollar from her paychecks, carefully searching thrift stores for a dress that would help her blend in. One night, while working late, she noticed a young boy, Liam, crying in the pediatric ward. His nanny, Olivia, was beside herself with worry, afraid that Liam's father, Ethan, a well-known real estate developer, would be furious about the accident. Nina sympathized and offered to help, She called Mr. Davidson to explain the situation and, in a moment of compassion, offered to take them to her apartment for the night, away from prying eyes. When Nina brought Liam and Olivia home, she was shocked to find her father had cleaned the apartment and cooked dinner. It was the first time in years she had seen him sober. Over dinner, her father admitted that he had heard her words the other day and was determined to change. He had called his old boss and was starting his job again on Monday. Overwhelmed with emotion, Nina hugged him, feeling proud and hopeful for the first time in years. The night of the prom arrived, and to Nina's surprise, Ethan and Liam showed up at her door in a sleek town car. Ethan, dressed in a sharp tuxedo, smiled and told her he wanted to make sure she had the prom night she deserved. The three of them walked into the dance together, and the night felt like a dream. Nina danced, laughed, and felt for once like she truly belonged. 3 years later, Nina stood on the stage, delivering her valedictory speech. In the audience, her father wiped away tears, and a 10-year-old Liam cheered for her. Ethan, now her husband, held her close, whispering, "I love you, my brilliant wife." Nina had graduated at the top of her class and now ran a nonprofit to help underprivileged kids. She and Ethan were a team, stronger together and committed to helping others. As Nina twirled in her wedding gown, she reflected on how far she had come. This was her happily ever after, and she wouldn't change one moment of the journey.